What's up, agents? Jet4th here, and yes, I have finally recreated the Endless Seeker Mine build. This is what I've been working on for the past few days and why I haven't been posting. Now you can see in this gameplay with solo heroic, yes, solo heroic, you can also do this as well in a 4-man group heroic, which I will show here shortly. But you will just get endless seekers for days with this. It's pretty nuts, I cannot deny. Now inevitably, you will hit cooldowns and stuff like that, just like the old endless builds, but you will notice that I am using the sniper turret as opposed to my beloved regular old turret. However, the sniper turret A hammers these dudes, and B generally seems to proc skilled a lot more than the regular turret does. Now you can also use the mortar turret with this and it will work just fine. It's just for me personally, I have a hard time aiming that damn thing. I'm not gonna lie. Now let's switch to some 4-man heroic, where you can see here in this footage that I get my seekers back 3 times in a row really quickly. Now keep in mind that this is the original variation of the build that I was trying to put together, and I am still using the original turret as opposed to my sniper turret. But this thing does absolutely thwomp, and just like I said before in one of my other builds, is that after they readjust all the NPCs and stuff, because it's quite ridiculous now how the scaling is, this will just get a lot better. Now another thing that you can see at the end of this footage is that I am also using calculated. So as you can see, while I'm pummeling everything with my nuke tube, my cooldown for my seekers is just dropping consistently throughout. Now if you didn't see it, which I haven't posted it yet, I am going to post it actually right now once I'm finished with this intro, blah blah blah. I did already post a full heroic playthrough of Jefferson Trade Center solo with this build. I made it all the way through. I actually made it through 3 times. I was just trying to keep it under the 30-minute mark, and the more I played, the better I got. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I am done babbling. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that other junk, and let's just get into the build, shall we? For our specialization, we will be using the Demolitionist. Surprise, I know, right? For the plus 10% increased explosive damage. Armor kits repair 100% damage and boost weapon handling by 30% for 15 seconds. This also comes with the artillery turret if that's your thing, not mine, because like I said, I can't aim with that thing. If you're not going the solo route, group members gain 5% damage to targets out of cover, which is fantastic. Ignore explosions can occur once per 60 seconds. And finally, when armor is reduced to 0, refills all main weapon ammo. On to weapons. For my primary, I am using the Pyromaniac. I've been trying to get a new one of these, but so Jesus, dear baby, oh my goodness gracious. If you can't get one of these, just use something with ignited on it. Sometimes the world doesn't burn fast enough. Unless you're a cleaner. Well, I guess if you are, whatever. Total damage, 55.1k. Core attributes, God rolled assault rifle damage, terrible health damage, and regular attribute accuracy. Calientes, perfectly ignited. Deal plus 25% weapon damage to burning enemies. After 3 kills, applies burning to the next enemy you hit. This will all make sense why I'm using this soon. For our secondary weapon, which I actually use more than my primary weapon, is an ACR-E. 64.k total damage, 650 RPM, 50 mag. Core attributes, 15% assault rifle damage, health damage, regular attribute, headshot damage. Talents. Spike. Headshots grant plus 20% skill damage for 8 seconds. Doesn't matter what weapon this is, but you are going to want Spike on this build because it is a skill build and Spike is amazing. And finally, for our sidearm, I went with the backup boomstick. Always, and I mean always, have a backup plan. Drunken idiot. Hey wait, that's me. Total damage, 739.7k damage. RPM 200, mag size 2. Yeah, great. God rolled shotgun damage, damage to armor, and then a critical hit damage. Calientes, perpetuation, headshots grant plus 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect you apply. Cooldown is 20 seconds. In all seriousness, I went with this because it looks really cool with the new skin. Yeah, America. And now I am totally going to throw some shade out there because, yeah, going around on the old poop tube right now is somebody saying that the send-off is the most amazing because it has perfectly rooted on it. While equipped and in cover, all skill damage and healing is increased by 30% for 15 seconds. Buff is lost when exiting cover can occur once per 60 seconds. Now in TU7, yes, rooted was something that you would want to have because, well, you know, holster talents, and we had those. Although this is the only holster talent left in the game, you're a lot better off having 2 weapons with spike and consistently having plus 20% as opposed to having the 30% for 15 seconds and that's in the 60-second cooldown. Take it from a real skill builder, pat myself on the back, yeah, you probably don't want to use this because A, it's a shotgun and you're going to be squishy AF because you're a skill build and you're generally not going to want to get that close to an enemy to be able to use this, and if you do have to get that close, that's why I have set in place the boomstick because, yeah, that's your last ditch effort. In all seriousness, yeah, I wouldn't use this. You can if you want, but yeah, 15 seconds, 60-second cooldown, no good to me. I think it's trash. Personally, I'm just saying rant over, done. Yeah. Alrighty, on to armor. For our mask, we will be using a Hannah U Corporation. We're actually using 2 pieces for the plus 10% skill haste and a plus 10% skill damage. This wonderful piece's core attribute is obviously plus 1 skill tier, attributes plus a 10% skill damage, and then status effect, and then for my mod, it's headshot damage. It just kind of rolled with that. I'd rather have a skill mod for it. But hey, yeah, gotta make do. Next up, we have the chest piece, which is our second piece of Hannah U. Core attribute, plus 1 skill tier, attributes, a skill haste, skill damage, and then our mod slot, once again, is headshot damage, and yeah. In a perfect world, you'd be able to roll out that mod slot for skill stuff. Talientes, skilled. Skill kills have a 25% chance to reset skill cooldowns. Love it. This is what's helping to get us infinite seekers, to be honest. On to the holster, which I am using the exotic Imperial Dynasty on this build. Now, do not get discouraged, okay? If you cannot get this holster, in which this holster drops from the Stranded Tanker mission in New York from Vivian Connolly. The final boss will drop this. Just use a Wyvernware holster, because that will add up to possibly another 20% skill damage, depending on how your RNG is. However, as for this holster, it's giving me the plus 1 skill tier, obviously, attributes, a status effect, really poorly rolled, and hazard protection, also poorly rolled. Talents, a Dragon's Glare. While in combat, applies burn to the enemy closest to you within 20 meters, a cooldown 40 seconds. In all seriousness, this has saved my bottom a few times, even at the end of my playthrough on Heroic. This also should explain why I'm using the Pyromaniac and why I'm speccing so hard into status effect as opposed to just skill haste. Again, if you don't have this, use a Wyvernware, and as opposed to speccing into status effect, just spec more into skill haste and bring your skill cooldown a lot more. So when that time comes when both of your skills are stuck on cooldown, it's a lot faster. On to the backpack, which we will be using 3 pieces of China Light Industries for the plus 15% explosive damage, plus 10% skill haste, and plus 10% status effect. Core attribute, plus 1 skill tier. Attributes, weapon handling. This I would much rather see some, skill stuff here. Status effect and skill haste for the mod slot. As for the talents, it is calculated. Kills from cover reduce skill cooldowns by 10%. And like I said, if you watch the gameplay when I'm on cooldowns and stuff like that, nailing enemies with my sniper turret and everything else, you can watch it drop. There is definitely a bit of delay from the time you kill an enemy to where you see the countdown skip ahead 5 seconds, a couple seconds, and whatnot, so be mindful of that. But it does definitely work, and it is a fantastic talent to whatever. I'm shutting up. And on to the gloves, which is our second piece of China Light, again giving you a plus 1 skill tier, attributes, a skill damage, and again a status effect. And finally, for our third piece of China Light Industries, which is the knee pads, giving us our 6th skill tier. For my attributes, it is skill damage, and then once again a status effect because of that holster. And once again, if you cannot get that Dynasty holster, use Wyvern Wear and spec into Skill Haste as opposed to as much status effect as I'm specking into. Status effect is basically just making that fire damage or incendiary damage burn them really hard and for a long time. At least I'm not sure about the length of it, but it definitely hurts them a lot and generally stops them in their tracks, and I'm going to stop babbling about this. And as for my skills, like I said a million times, I'm using the sniper turret because it hits really, really, really hard. If you don't want to use the sniper turret, you know, go ahead and give the mortar a try or anything else that you want. As long as it creates damage, you will be proccing skilled and calculated and stuff like that. So, you know, give her a shot. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. And as for my other skill, obviously it's my favorite, your favorite, everyone's favorite, the Cluster Seekers, which I love Seekers. Ever since Division 1, I just cannot stop using them. So either way, I absolutely love this build. I know there's some naysayers already commenting on the heroic gameplay I put up that, oh, you're hitting cooldowns. Did you listen to a single word I said, my friend? Probably not, but you know, this is just like the original TU7 Seeker builds, my very original TU1, TU2 build. It's just, you get Seekers over and over and over again. And like I said, it is inevitable. You're gonna hit cooldowns. You know, you're going to have the big chumunga enemies targeting it, and they will absolutely destroy it. But thankfully on turrets, the cooldown is like, I don't know, 15, 16 seconds. It's not that much at all. But one thing I will say is that this sniper will tear through their armor really fast. It's just, it is what it is. It's pretty crazy. I cannot deny. But either way, you guys, that is it for the build. I'm not sure what else to say about this. I do love this build. I'm glad that I finally was able to start building skill builds again because of RNG, and I was just getting really sick of shield builds and even bought into it a little bit and have my own shield build. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Build some damn skill builds. This is what you are good at. So I really hope this helps you guys, especially my solo player friends, my skill builder friends. I'm going to start trying to build some other more fun skill builds and use some of the new skills and stuff like that. Skills. And that is it. Do me a favor and leave me a comment in the comment section down below about what you guys think about this build, suggestions, and, you know, anything else that will help either me out or any of the other players, new build ideas, yada yada, this and that. Subscribe and all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace!